Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. I guess I always say it if I remember, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. So here we are. My guest this morning, we've got Honorable Itiako Malik Ikpokpo, who is a 2 times former chairman of Isoko South Local Government Area, and a 2 times, that is in Delta State, right? And a 2 times chairman of ALGON, that's the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, in his native Delta State. You're very welcome, Honorable Itiako Malik Ikpokpo.
Thank you very much.
Today, you are, President, you're Chief of Staff to the National President of ALGON. Thank you very much for coming on. It'll be clear in a moment. And our friend, which is not to say that Honorable Itiako is not our friend. We have a friend, Mr. Seyi Adeyemo, publisher and social commentator. Thank you very much, as always, for coming on.
Having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Indeed, the pleasure is ours. So here we are, and we wanted to look at local government again. The subject, it's never gone away. It's always there, talking about the autonomy of local councils. We'll probably touch on a number of different aspects, but I do believe that Honorable Ikpokpo, one of the points that he wants to make is that if we had an effective local government system, then the governance would be a lot better than it is at the moment, good as it is.
Sure.
I added good as it is, just to say. So let me start from an angle. There have been a lot of opinions about it. First of all, Mr. President also seems to be on the side of local councils, local governments and local councils. You recall that he had said that, look, if it's going to help, and it sure will help, pay to local governments directly. I understand there are issues with that. Let's go from the other conversation point I've heard, that why don't we hand the election of local councils to INEC, not state independent electoral commissions? That would, it is thought, give more stability and a more guaranteed tenure to local council officials. What do you say to that particular idea?
Well, thanks once again for having me. If we say that we want to do best practices around the world, then I think that I don't have a problem with INEC, but I also don't have a problem with sex. You see, the challenge of electioneering in Nigeria is that if you look at the election process coming from 2015, it has evolved from ballot snatching. It is the integrity of the persons.
No, elections don't evolve.
No, when I mean, I'm coming. Yes, it has moved to another phase.
Oh, okay.
It has moved to another phase.
You're talking of some of the undesirable
aspects of it. Undesirable aspects of it. Now, it is the integrity of the persons who drive the process that is key. Because if the process, whether it's INEC, whether it's DSEC, as the case may be, it is the integrity of the person selected to drive that process that is important. And who appoints them? I think that's the kernel of the issues that we are faced with. Whether it's the governor, whether it's the chief judge, whether it's an independent body. But importantly, elections around the world are organized by local communities. Either it's a borough or it's whatever you call it.
County.
A county. It's organized by local communities. So the burden on INEC is already a huge one. And I think that we can sit down. The problem we have is that nobody is sitting down to discuss local governments. Nobody is sitting down to look at the problem.
But there's so many seminars.
No, we don't need seminars. The president of this country made a pledge to local government. That was one focal point that he had. And the first thing he did was to enact the NFIU and say that, look, funds should go, not be dispersed at JAC. And you know, whether they are following that or not in some states, that's another matter entirely. But I think that there needs to be a discussion at the level of the National Assembly. For instance, there are certain sections that should be deleted. If you want monies to go from states, from federation accounts straight to local government, section 1626 should go. Don't forget, the same constitution that says to you that you should allow local governments to exist has also given the money to the House of Assembly to control them. So there are deep issues.
There are, and maybe the House of Reps, the Deputy Speaker, I don't need to tell you, he's been championing in the discussion on the review of the Constitution. He's actually been, he's the person who was championing, put local councils elections under INEC, and you've just commented.
Let him read our document. We submitted the most audacious, comprehensive overhaul of the constitutional review on local government to the National Assembly. And the Speaker has been working with us on that, right, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. And they should read that document. It should not be an assumption of a person. It should be a collective reasoning of the players, of the actors, and all. So it is his personal opinion. He needs to seek, and we have tried to sit down with the Deputy Speaker and say, look, so that you hear from us, you hear from the actors, you hear from those who are in the field, you hear from NOGE, you hear from ALGON, you hear from all the people. This is a document. We have submitted it. It's never been like this before. For instance, I'll give you a typical example. We want 4 years tenure. Uniform. There's no reason why the president should have 4 years, a governor should have 4 years, and a local government chairman should not have 4 years. There's no reason. Because when you have 6 months and 2 years, it doesn't account for a proper process. You understand? And there's no planning. A chairman for 2 years probably doesn't have time to plan by the time he settles down in 8 months. That's a 2-year budget cycle.
Now, Seyi, if I have to come to you, I believe that maybe Honorable Ikpokpo, maybe not, I'm just guessing this. There are those who say the governors are actually part of the challenge. Now, I don't know how well the governors will be taking all of this, because you've heard all sorts of things about the role of governors in local council elections and even their formation. They want to remain in charge. Even where monies are paid directly into the accounts of local councils, it is alleged that in some cases they actually will then go back and return the money there to satisfy all righteousness and then get it disbursed to them. If that is indeed true, it sounds ridiculous to me, but give me your thoughts on, are governors getting a bad rap, or is there just cause for some of the complaints we have?
So we've had a bad deal over time, and people can say all sort of things. I do not want to join issue with them. I just want us to bring it to the table. I like the fact that Honorable Ikpokpo said that we're not talking local government. And that's a shame, because leadership, as it were, ought to be active at all levels, even at home level. If you don't have leadership, proper leadership, empowered leadership at the level of local government area, you're not going to have governance run. Those for me are the facts that we need to bring to the table. You cannot say, oh, we're doing well in federal level, or we're doing well in state level, and we're not doing well in local government level. That is a shame of all of us. So we must understand that if I, for instance, want to talk about TVC, no matter how intelligent I am, because I come here casually, I cannot tell of TVC like the person that works here or resides here. So it's important that those who live here or work here are empowered sufficiently enough to be able to tell the story of TVC. So us getting governance right at local government area, and like I said before, called all sorts of names all over the world, bureau, county, and all of that, it has to be properly done. And it is something all of us must do whatever we can to make sure it works at that level. Because then, sometimes I also am afraid. It's like when we talk about our governance, our life, it's like we're talking about other people. It's like we're watching a film. And that for me is unfortunate, because look, this is our life. We must get it right. We must make sure that at the government, local government level, and including the traditional leaders, we must make sure that everybody is brought onto the table and they are made to own governance, even at the most remote level. That is my take, and I pray that we see it from that angle.
Sorry, let me just, you said, oh, they say this federal government is working, the state is working. The federal government and states are not working because the local government is not working.
Okay.
That's the reality.
I was going to come to that point, actually,
it's not
and
working.
ask you what effect it is, this sort of quote-unquote isolation of the local council.
And I'll give you an example.
As a participant.
Everything that exists in the infrastructural development of a nation is embedded in the local government. Healthcare, education, social amenities, security, they are in the local government system. Now, so for instance, as chairman of council, I don't get direct allocation. I served under 2 governors who didn't touch my allocation. So, and that's why I say that you cannot put a blanket claim that everybody does that. I know of Governor Gadunje. I know of Governor Wike. Maybe because they were also chairman of council, like Okowa. Maybe it has helped them to understand and give a broader perspective to local government administration. Or you resume office in the morning, and then everybody wants your attention. Either the primary health care center is not working, the DPO answers to the commissioner of police, doesn't answer to you. It doesn't answer to any traditional ruler. And so there must be a plan that helps us manage the process of nation building from the local government. If the local governments are functioning well, you don't have a problem in the state.
You know, I don't
and you don't have a problem in the nation because every state is in the country.
And whereas what you're saying on the face of it makes a lot of sense, there's also this situation in our country here, and I'll come back to you, Honorable, but let me take it from here. The attitude to local councils in our country, do the people take them seriously enough? I'm talking about, the brightest minds, the best brains, when they want to go, very few of them, I would suggest, act when they want to put themselves forward, actually think it is worth their while to do so at the local council level. They want instead to be anything but that. They want to carry their acumen, their brains, their strategic powers. They want to take it. They want to be a senator. They want to be under a representative. They want to be a governor. But local council, they feel that that one, my dignity, give me something more. Is that kind of an attitude? First of all, do you accept that premise?
So again, that is unfortunate because you see, leadership.
We're talking about the quality of personnel available to serve that vital level of government.
You see, the truth of the matter is, leadership is serving. Now, if you do not have an intelligent person to deliver the goods at that level, that is the closest to the people, that for me is the most crucial, then it is us, and I mean all of us, are the reason why we have continued to fail. And I must quickly say that I didn't say it was working. I said if they say it's working.
Sorry.
So now if we agree that we have not, look, in the house, if you run the tap of everywhere, and where the water comes into the building is faulty, the whole house is in trouble.
Sure.
So you must find a way of making sure that what brings the water or the system, the source, is properly kept. So look, if you're about serving the people, and that's, you've taken me to an angle that is bothering me. The process of election is something that we need to quickly fix, because the moment they are elected, there's nothing you can do. You will wait till
at whatever the level.
Yes. So we must make sure that whoever comes up, whoever tries to say you want to lead us, then you must pass a particular,
sort of screening of competency.
Yes,
that you are competent
to deliver. Because if you're not going to, if you don't have it, don't bother.
Before we go further into the conversation, what do you think, Honorable, about the fact that perhaps candidates for local councils, local governments, it is thought don't actually evolve organically? That is, people making sure people seem to think that they are done favors, and so upon getting the approval of whoever, you say, okay, you're going to go for local government. Never mind the level of competency or not. You go for. First of all, is there anything to that idea?
Let me just answer this question in 2 ways. First, I came from private sector. I was a consensus candidate. Politics is not my day-to-day job. I have politics in worry in my place. Politics not be work. You understand? I came from the private sector and I've gone back to the private sector.
So you were like a professional in politics.
Well, no, let me now go back to answer the main question. The truth of the matter is that from the president to the chairman, it is almost the same process. They just look down on the local government because it's local government. Most times, in choosing a governorship candidate of your party, it is the person who has the power to take delegates that chooses the person. Same as the president. We know how the president emerged under APC. It was a power block that emerged and brought him in because they had the power of the delegates. The same thing in the local government. So let's not look down on the local government because it's local government. You understand? Whether it's favor or no favor, it is the same process from every House of Assembly, House of Reps. You see, for goodness sake, competency test should not stop at local government. Go to the House of Reps, go to the House of Assembly, go to governorship. Let's not belittle the issue of governance. It's a big problem across the country, and we need to take it seriously by ensuring that the structures of making sure the processes help us move forward as a country are properly put in place. So it's not just about local council. I came twice. I was consensus. In fact, the second time, one or two of my leaders objected to me. But the governor said he has done well. The people want him. So I asked myself,
it's not that whole matter about how they emerge. Perhaps what I'm reading from what Itiako is saying is that it's not entirely all about being appointed by.
No, it's a process. Leadership.
And you think is that allowed to work?
It's a part. You see, when you come to party politics, it's different. It's not how you do it here. It's a different.
It is at that party politics that I said we need to fix. You see, those who own those delegates, like he has just described, are people that we must ensure that they are people with good character. You see, because we have neglected it, and we feel that
why have we neglected it? Because of the very
local government.
That is a bit of looking down on.
No, I'm even saying across the board now.
Yeah.
So politics generally in Nigeria, we all speak a lot of grammar and we step back away from it. But when they become the chairman, the governor, the president, they rule over us.
Are you aware, sir?
Yeah.
That in the local government system, some of the best brains exist there. We have doctors, we have lawyers, people. And you see, when you say there are people who want to serve the local government system, there's one vital point that we miss. There must be connectivity. You might be very intelligent, you might be very knowledgeable, but you may not be connected with the people.
Well,
you may not be somebody who accepts people into your house. You wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, you have 25 people seated outside. So with different problems.
So you have to be a politician. Look, you've just said it. Yeah. If you can't interact, if you can't socially engage,
well, you don't need to be a politician to be somebody who engages.
Well, okay, but you need to be known by your community.
You should be a social person.
Okay, okay, I'll take that. Let's take the social person. Good morning, Kesandu in Owerri.
Uncle Yoria, greetings, sir. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Kesandu.
I must commend your analysis on this particular vital issue. It is quite unfortunate. The man on white actually made a very point ab initio. He said,
Mr. Adeyemo,
the problem of leadership. Yes, God bless you, sir. You see, the problem we're having in this society is that our politician or political class have failed to understand that development starts from bottom to top. That the local government is the most sensitive and important arm of the government. Let me tell you, if the local government part of government is working, the improvements will be so massive on our place on our grassroots. You see, here in the south is the Imo State where I come from. It is quite unfortunate. I come from Ihitubo, my local government, and I can bet you our monthly allocation is almost 150 million naira monthly, and I can tell you there is nothing to show for it. The governor will just appoint his boys as TC chairman and TC members, and nothing is done about it, and nobody wants to ask questions. I want the national members of national assembly. That is where they can actually come in. Even members of the state, those ones they've been pocketed, they are just choosing in the house of the governors. But if they actually make this, let the president make it that nobody will receive a dime if you're not a properly or legally constituted authority as regards election. If you're not elected, Let the money be at the federal government. Let them keep our money there until the day any governor wakes up to conduct election. Because this whole thing is becoming an embarrassment to us as a society. That to conduct a local government election is a problem. You even see some of them that will brag about it, that they will do it 5 months into their government. But you see them 2 years, 3 years, they don't do it. But at the tail end of their tenure, they will just conduct one nonsense to put confusion and trouble into the state. So in my state, in Imo, is a very big problem. People should beg our governor to conduct local government election. It is terrible. We don't like it. Let the president withhold local government allocations until the day any governor decides to conduct election. That is the way we want it to be. So these people will learn to be responsible. Unfortunately, we have irresponsible people piloting our affairs in this country. It is quite unfortunate. God bless Nigeria.
Oh, thank you very much, Kesandu. You said you wanted to...
No. First of all, when you say he received 150 million, the question you ask is, does he have an over-bloated staff? He pays traditional rulers. He pays 1% to the Local Government Service Commission. He pays 5% to the local traditional rulers in the state. If he's unlucky, he has maybe 60 traditional rulers. What is his staff strength? You see, in giving a blanket condemnation, it's important you are part of the process. He's speaking out of anger. It's possible, I mean, he's in PDP and he's not happy with the governor, and all of that drama. Yes, but leave that aside. Your focus. No, I know the Imo. I know the Imo scenario. So I also know my colleagues there.
Okay.
As a person, it's important you try to find out exactly. 150 million is big money. I was getting 200 million. My wage bill for teachers was 130 million.
Wow.
Until I came out publicly to explain what was happening, they were shocked, and people started asking me, "So how are you managing?"
Okay.
That was now the question.
That was now the question.
Because the governor was augmenting 7 of us with state funds to manage the process. And I said, don't
because
give a blanket.
you didn't have these funds yourself, is why the governor, who was on the side...
No.
But why was the government... Why was the governor augmenting?
Let me tell you.
Because they're his people.
We go to it. Let me explain. 200 million comes. You are finished paying. You are in a deficit of maybe 42 million. And the governor sits in Jack and says, what do we do? I've not touched your money. And then you say, Your Excellency, we are all your children. If you have money in your IGR, please, can you augment local government? Because we need to pay their salaries. I have a wage bill. I had a wage bill of 60 million. I'm no longer chairman. Add that to 130 million. I've not done pension. I've not done traditional rulers. So you are in a deficit. Myself, Ughelli North, Ughelli South, Ethiopia East, Ethiopia West, were consistently in a deficit. It was the governor that was bailing us out.
Okay. Mazi Okorafo, thank you for holding on. Go ahead now, please.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, look, let us face the reality of life. You see, local government work for chairman or councillor must be done through election, credible, transparent, and election, not through appointment. Do you know why Nigeria is facing all this calamity as if we're in Afghanistan? You see what is happening in Afghanistan today. Taliban took over government. What is happening? Everything has just gone to square. That's the worst. In as much as the governors continue appointing people, even the so-called election, and not the real people that people want. They just go do abracadabra and say they have conducted social party, even they say they have just won everything. You must continue getting this security. Look, let me bet you. If we want proper security in our local government, state governors must conduct credible, transparent elections. Whosoever that wins, no matter the party, no matter the let him be there in the office, not going to court and that. That is the only way. That's number 2. The problem that they are facing today, look, let me give you an instance. I did a television, I don't know if television has as well. One Bayelsa lady, a councillor, just made councillor. This lady build routes, bridge within the resources she has, within her own confine, that's the office as a councillor, but forgetting the office. Now they televise everything live. Now, after watching that lady, do you need for that lady to campaign? Does she need security men? It doesn't need security because she's doing the needful people water. She did what the people wanted. And it was now tell me, the lady listed how much she used, find the materials, the cement, and workmanship, everything that listed everything and sent it to the community to see. And people were very, very happy watching that. What does it take Nigeria to have such a person in their local government, in their state as chairman and leader? Because everybody wants to grab. At the end of grabbing, we don't look. In as much as we continue doing abracadabra in local government, we cannot stop insecurity in Nigeria. We cannot get the they told that they are going to give that workers as youth 1,000 work. Look at what is happening. Everything that just government is just on cooler. Look, we must face reality. We have seen. I'm using the Taliban Afghanistan to give an example because you see when the Taliban say what Taliban at the house, they say no girls should not go to school. People are leaving this place. Even people leaving the place, they are not sending bombs to give people who want to secure that good life outside. Look, Nigeria should sit down and decide that no more. Okay. If they don't want to condone a trip,
okay, I was going to Mazi. Thank you very much, Mazi. He's a very royal, a very frequent and a valued caller. He said something in there, and it was something that Itiako himself said earlier, that all aspects of our life will be improved if we get the local council system, if we get it straight. Mazi said in there that corruption, everything, security, it will operate from there. But the whole matter of appointments, as opposed to a selective process. Before then, Kesandu had said something about we don't get people we want. Hopefully, what he means is that people he and people of similar minds can actually do the job, who actually have a roadmap, a plan for the service that they are offering, as opposed to just being a protege of some big man.
That's assuming he's in the majority.
And there's this problem, of course, that people have observed, that how come whatever the party the governor is in, the local, whatever the election, wherever it's from, is going to be 100% for that party.
You'll be surprised that I don't have a problem with that, because you see, at the end of the day, there's a system, and you need to be popular and have people you can work with. My concern is about the quality of the people
and service.
The delivery, because if those I'm comfortable with are the ones I'm going to work with, good and fine. But the concern is whoever sits on that seat must understand the role that is about serving the people, is about writing an history. Because you see, I wonder whether we realize that at the end of the day, we will say, oh, Uncle Yori was this. In the same manner, Chairman was this when he was there. And if we are comfortable, particularly now in the age of internet, your name will be written, and 20 years, 30 years down the line, people can Google and say, oh, whilst you were there, these were the miss. I don't understand whether we all realize that that is what is going, because I don't know. Because I'm wondering, do we really like to be painted black, and go for how much?
Well, just before you come in, Reverend Dominic in Alimosha has called in. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, Yori. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Yori, let me start with in this way. Mr. Seyi can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Seyi has made a fundamental, statement that good governance starts from electoral process, which is the foundation. But your guest there, who is a former chairman, and now is also part of the problem, because when there's consensus, you neglect party structure, you neglect electoral system, because it is a godfather in state that appoints him. Does it mean he's the best brain there? No, he was once favored. The best brain in party politics, the best brain contest and win. When it's consensus, the fourth talking about comes in. Last 3 weeks we discussed about local government here at eve of Lagos State election. And somebody called from the north and called it a show. The show has come and gone, and we know what happened. The show happened on Saturday, Sunday. The Monday, our brothers have show at Shebi on Sunday night to prepare for swearing. And all the representatives come from APC. They just give information that in Oshodi, the man that represents Oshodi came from my side, from Imo State, which means if you conduct a good election, and that party can win election. In Oshodi, it's a PDP. Other PDP, Oshodi, constituency one. The representative is an Igbo man, but the person is from PDP. What I'm trying to say, as long as there's no good party structure, as long as there's no good election system, there'll be no good governance. Until we forget that one, fine, which structure, the foundation, electoral system, party system where we can choose the best among the best. The young man is one of the best, but it's not the best. Because that's somebody to have to make him a consensus candidate. And that's the problem of politics in Nigeria. Okay. When we overcome consensus, we get into the retail.
All right, Reverend. Thank you very much for calling in. Itiako, would you like to come in, especially?
No, not really respond to him. I mean, but just generally try to say that. While if he was listening, he will also realize the fact that I agreed very much with him, and my record can only be spoken about by my constituents. I will not talk about Oshodi. What we have done.
But he did say, well, he did allege, I don't know why, that you are also part of the system, part of the problem.
He's also part of the problem. He's also part of the problem. But the truth is, what we have done in ALGON, led by Elegoshan, the chairman of ALGON in Lagos State, who is now the president of ALGON, Kolade David Alabi, is to look at the issues fundamentally and engage. And I can assure you, much more than making noise, we have engaged. We have engaged the Governors Forum. We have engaged the National Assembly. We have engaged civil society organizations. We have engaged NORGE. And that's why you see this document. It may not be perfect, but what we are saying is that there are certain parts of the Constitution that needs to be deleted.
Okay. And this, in fact, just looking at your document here, the title here is Proposed Amendments to Provisions of the Constitution.
Added to that, the revenue sharing formula is faulty. The federal government is too bogus. What they give us a paltry 20, is it 19 or so, and we're asking for 35.5%. We're saying there must be guaranteed in the Constitution our revenue-based collection. It must be in the Constitution. We are saying that community policing should be enshrined in the Constitution. Now, when you get your funds directly from the federal allocation, what it does, it helps you prioritize. So, you don't need 500 staff working in local government. It doesn't become a dumping ground. You rather release part of that money to community policing, to healthcare, to education. UBEC, which is supposed to be a policy arm of the Ministry of Education, is awarding contracts.
Okay, you know what? I've got to go on a quick break now. We'll come back and we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're looking at local councils, especially as it relates to local government autonomy. Our guests are Mr. Seyi Adeyemo, publisher and commentator, and Mr. Honorable Itiako Malik Ikpokpo, who is now the Chief of Staff to the National President of ALGON. And to thank you as well, Mr. Okeke in Ibadan. You've been holding on all the while. Go ahead now, please.
Yeah. Just want to contribute to the discussion going on.
We'd love you
to. The system on ground, even though because the governor appoints local government chairman or he conducts the election, it's still going to be the same thing. Until we correct the kind of electoral system we are running in Nigeria, we're still going to be having the same kind of people who doesn't have good intention for the people at heart. So what we need right now is to correct the kind of electoral system that we are running in Nigeria, right from the local government down to the presidency. Without that, we can't be able to have a credible people that is going to hold this political position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I had to interrupt you to go to break. Did you want to continue?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we are saying that taxes collectible by local government should be guaranteed by the Constitution. UBEC, SUPEP should be scrapped. They should just be policy-making bodies on educational issues. I schooled in a federal government college. I went to LGC Azari, I went to LGC Duani. You can't say that of public schools today. They are more functional private schools than public schools in this country. Let's ask ourselves why. Okay. Because local government is nothing to write home about. So what we have done in ALGON is to engage. We're engaging people we believe have reason to properly understand the situation and get it right as we move on as a people.
Okay, so the challenge is, as you said, to identify those people who are, let's use the word progressives, and by this I'm not referring to any political party,
we have a lot of them,
but progressively minded people.
We have a lot of them.
Seyi, before I come, Mr. Yakub, thank you for calling in. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Chifiori, and then good morning to your two guests.
Yes.
Chifiori, the previous caller has said it all. Let me just bust stress some points here. Chifiori, if we fail to organize a credible election in the local government, I think we cannot get it right. Because people living in locality know who is the best candidate in their locality. But in the case, maybe a case whereby the governor, for example, now your guests have said it earlier that he's anointed of the governor then, if I got him right. So, Chief Judge, as far as I'm concerned, if governors still remain people that conduct election in the city, in the state, we cannot get that election.
Sorry, Mr. Yakub, before you go too far, I think Mr. Honorable Ikpokpo did not say that he was anointed of the governor at the time.
That's why I said that if I got him right.
Oh, you didn't get me right.
Okay. That is coming from the fact that the governor, as it were, stood in the gap for you, and you said so openly.
Yes.
That I haven't. So that gave the impression that.
But it's not the same thing.
Okay.
Because there's a consensus building. You see, they need to understand the political structure in every society.
Okay. Well, Mr. Yakub, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Round off.
Are you listening to me?
Yes. Round off, please.
Round up. See, Johnny, let me just quickly give you a quick example here.
Okay.
You see, if we get the right people at the right position in this country, I think we can move forward. If you remember last 2 days, I told you that I wanted to go and take a vaccine, and then I'm very sure the health center in this state is controlled by local government chairman. I stand to be corrected. Chief Yori, when I got back, I told you that there somebody says that if they cannot be able to give him that vaccine, nobody will take it. But when getting back to that Odun Backward Center, do you know, Chief Yori, I don't know who made that arrangement. Do you know that there were 3 people? One is registering us manually, and then they designate 2 people to register people by Android phone. If you don't register before you get there, they will tell you, don't worry, we'll register and then we'll take your vaccine, and then everything goes smoothly. So who organized that? Because we have the right person at the right place in that very particular local government. So basically, the election in this country, especially in the local government, must be free and fair, because we people living in the local government, we know the right people to vote for.
So at least there's one right person now. At least there's
everybody,
one right person.
Exactly, and everybody really lives in a local government. The point that's being made here about the caliber of people that actually engage in the system, in the local government system, is going to be crucial to this thing that is desired, which is a highly effective local government system. Because it's like we are being told here that this is where it all starts from. Absolutely. This is the broad base of the pyramid.
Absolutely. I would just want to quickly drop on the table and for us to all take it up. I think the political scientists in Nigeria have a case to answer. The professors, the lecturers, those who do the science of political science, they need to help us tinker, query, and come up with something that is better than what we have right now.
Well, that's why I pointed out that the deputy speaker is, at the head of a committee, which he said that they have been
actually
engaging
the deputy senate president.
I mean, sorry.
Is the chairman of the...
is the deputy senate president?
Yes, that's the chairman.
Okay.
The deputy speaker is the deputy
chairman. So it looks like this point you are making has been taken cognizance of.
Yes, but you see, my concern is really... so it's a science. It's something that is sitting at a very pivotal position in our life. We need to be more deliberate. We need to be more strategic. We need to be more precise about it. And I think we need to think harder. Yes, because we have our own, political science or political exercise is the same all over the world. But we have...
shall we say political preferences? Let it be said.
So Nigeria is Nigeria. And we need to find a way of getting our own solution out of all this democracy, unilateral, whatever. But let us think about it very well so that, let me put it simply put, the fact that we have not the best of our people now running the political space is something we need to find a way of correcting. Because at the end of the day, we would complain and complain. But
he started off by letting us know that, look, it's a consensus matter.
And beyond the people, sir, I think we are getting it wrong. It's not about the people, really.
Okay,
it's about...
Before you develop that, let me not burn Chidi's credit over in Kafanchan. Good morning, Chidi.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, the discussion that we are having this morning is we're having the consensus. There is the need to back up the constitutional provision which creates
the local government autonomy. And when this is fully passed, let there be a credible election at the local government level, where candidates that will emerge at the end of the day is not going to be anointed by the governor of the state. If these things are properly streamlined, I would strongly want to believe that the local government chairman that will emerge will be the choice of the people. And when such happens, we are going to have a workable electoral process and a development-oriented local government area where the governance will reach to the grassroots.
All right, then.
Let this be put in place. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Indeed, thank you very much for calling in. And by anointed, I'm sure you meant being handpicked by the...
Well, I'll just surprise you that if he's calling from his own local government, he'll be shocked that, I don't know if he's a young man, he'll be shocked that even his dad is part of the people who anoint people. So you see, when you give...
When you talk about anointing, what do you mean? I mean, because I was
anointing
wondering...
means different things to different
yes,
people.
Yes, because by the time you go and handpick a person, and because you have the clout,
they are giving governors too many bad names. The governor does not come from all the local governments in the states. There's a process. You will agree with me. But I'm not here to defend any governor. I am saying I was a product of consensus before the election. And I did my best in 6 years.
Okay, and I think that is what Yakub probably misheard and therefore said that you yourself were anointed. Reverend Dominic
and
also
I don't have any apologies.
Reverend Dominic also called in to say that you yourself could possibly be part of the problem.
And I said maybe he doesn't understand the way the structure is of every political party is. I am a PDP, you understand? And we all do things in our different ways. But importantly, as a rider to what Mr. Seyi said, once the institutions and the structures of governance are in place, it's easy for anybody with minimal requisite experience, knowledge, and understanding to walk in there and do well.
Okay, because there's a system in place and there are checks.
That is what is most important.
You know,
all so anybody coming in with the way it is now is struggling to properly ensure that he meets the yearnings and aspirations of his people. If they call you to come and serve, you can't say no.
Okay. Ibrahim in Kaduna, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling.
Good morning to your two guests over there for this morning.
Sure.
Quite interesting topic that we are going to discuss. Yes, because you know why I just passionate to contribute is that I myself, I am from the local level. I am from a village, which is under local government.
Isn't everybody? Isn't everybody in Nigeria?
You know, people like you are city boys. We are villagers. So, I'm quite interested. You see, when we are growing up in the village, you see, the people that we know really are the local government and the councillor. We honor them because we keep seeing some developmental projects on the ground. But today, because the Nigerian politician has moved it to let local government be in the pocket of governors. That is why we're not able to see good governance from the grassroots. Why do I say so? You see, until we go back to that footstep of what local government is all about, because local government, one of the features of government, is it not so? But today, it's not we are not seeing the activity of government, but local government is under the state executive. Well, look at what they are doing to them, which is very, very barbaric. They are giving us so much headache. Look at the security challenges that we are facing today. If local government is in the right pedestrian of working what they are supposed to do, then you could have seen a redevelopment. Not people are even looking upward to say, okay, let them have this and keep on existing mass exodus to the urban area. You know, what you want in Sokoto is already in your Sokoto. As the normally say, it could have been a better thing for us. But today, the state governor will not allow the government to stay. Even though we rewrite a new constitution, they will not allow it to stay. That is what I always say. So until we go back to that level, that let's put local government in their real set, in the real seat of them, you will have to start to see some developmental projects in local government. People will, and this security challenge we are facing today will be a thing of past. Thank you very much. Thank you for bringing this topic out. Bye.
Okay, we also appreciate you. Seyi, I don't know if you heard when Honorable Ikpokpo said that people don't really know about what's going on in the systems because they are not engaged, they're not part of the systems. And so maybe this might, negatively impact how they are able to appreciate and even comment on it. For instance, he said also that we probably put too much on governors, and that's probably because we don't know enough about it. Is that an important point to you as well?
It's very, very important. And I think one of the things I will quickly want to recommend is maybe we need to reactivate our community meetings, town hall meetings and all of that. Because at the end of the day, like I keep saying, this is our thing. It's not their thing. So if you have an area and you don't even get involved in the meetings of the area, like those who clean up the area and all of that. You walk in, you drive out, your nose is up, and when things happen, they steal something out of your car, you're complaining. I look at people like that and I wonder if they understand what it means to live in a society. We all must get involved.
We all must be engaged.
Involved.
At the local level first,
yes.
And all must be involved. And this
Absolutely.
This is part of why I think he said that.
So that, like he said, we then will be the one anointing. So we would insist and say, look, this man cannot go for us because we don't know him in this area.
Okay.
And our voice will be heard.
Okay. Let me hear it from Aminu in Yola, Adamawa State. Good morning, sir.
Yes, Mr. Yori, good morning.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah. If we want to get anything right in Nigeria, the first and foremost, we should understand local governments are where everybody belongs. And secondly, it's a training ground for good politicians, from a councillor to a chairman to a member House of Assembly to the president. This is a training ground. There are some tribes in Nigeria, they can only afford to be councillors. So we cannot afford not to everybody in Nigeria to be represented. And everybody in Nigeria can only be represented in the local government. Some tribes cannot be chairmen, they cannot be members of they can be councillors. So fundamentally, if we didn't get it right in local government, we should forget about democracy. Democracy starts from the grassroots, from the local government. It moves up. So whatever we are saying, whether it is insecurity, whether it is development, whether it is primary health care, whether it is primary education, whatever we are saying, it all boils down to local government. The earlier we all realize, plus the governors, the legislators, and every stakeholder in the Nigeria project, to allow local government function, that is the most fundamental for every one of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amino, for calling in with that particular point. And maybe this is why you hear often that sometimes when political aspirants, they go for, if they have any political ambition, they go to maybe the governor prior to elections. And so now and again, you hear people being told to, it's okay, I hear your aspiration. Go and start from your local government, from your ward. That is a commendable notion.
Yes, true. Normal, and that should be what it should be, because as governor, you are the leader of the party. But I think, like I said, we put too much weight on them because they are the leader of the party. Usually, every community has its leaders. The question you ask is, as a political party, who are the leaders that come together and select that individual, who they now maybe present to the structure of the state for election? That is the issue.
So because we're right now on the home stretch of the program, what is the way forward? The local council is the way it is. Clearly you're dissatisfied. A lot of Nigerians, going by the handful of callers that I've called in, also feel the same way. So what is the way forward?
For most of the people who are dissatisfied, Uncle Seyi said something, engage. They're not asking questions. Organize yourself and engage. But at the level of ALGON, we have already engaged. We're not shouting from the rooftop. Kolade Alabi as president is engaging. And we're asking for a few things to start with. One, section 1626 should be deleted.
What does that say generally?
State joint account.
Oh, okay.
State and local government joint account should be deleted from the constitution. Let local governments get their money directly from the federation account. 7.6, which gives control to the House of Assembly. Because there's also a power play between an elected member of the House and most times the council chairman who come from the local government. They want to use the House of Assembly to punish the chairman of council. Delete that. We go to Revenue Mobilization Fiscal Commission. the revenue we get from the federation as local government is too paltry. We are asking for 35.5% because the bulk of the institutional work in this country is in the local government system. We're talking about community policing. Let us have the powers to re-engage our traditional institution, our president generals, and all of that, to make sure that we're able to communicate to the people. You don't bring a policeman from Zamfara, for instance, to come to Isoko. Before he learns the art for 1 year, he's gone.
He will be posted out. Yes.
He will be posted out. Then, we're also saying that our collectible taxes in local government should be guaranteed by the Constitution.
Okay.
Let us start with that.
Okay. Mr. Okechukwu in Asaba, Delta State, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
I want to find out this autonomy thing. When the local government we are doing the local roads. Okechukwu from Asaba. So I want to find out when the local government we are doing the local roads in their local government, was the local government under autonomy?
Yes, they were getting their money directly.
You just said,
because right now, when you go to the local roads, they are just untidy.
Sure. Okay, Okechukwu, that's it, right?
We need to round up.
Okay, because we need to round up. I saw that you were
just
acknowledging
an added part. You remember a time where the councillors were older people.
Yes.
More mature, retired, responsible.
That's where to go.
That's where to go.
And the days of saying, I'm going to report you to your headmaster, to the principal, so that when they walked on the street, there was so much honor because you were a teacher in the village and the local government area. You see, the only way to go is to get it right at that level, where there is so much check and balances, teacher, local government chief, heads of clan, family heads. If we abdicate the responsibility or take away the strength from there, I want to bring you from somewhere, it will not have a foundation. PTA, you know, those checks at that local, that's the only way.
Well, we've got to leave it here because we've run out of time. But I think it's been a very exciting hour for me, at least, and I think for a lot of people, judging by the number of calls that came in. If we had the time, more calls would come in because it's been quite enlightening. And especially on the way forward, there's going to have to be constitutional review work before some...
We're already working on that. And the president of ALGON, Kolade Alabi, is deeply involved in that. He's talking with the governor, chairman of the Governors Forum, His Excellency Kayode Fayemi. And we are working to ensure that some part of this, of our requests, our demands, are properly met, and it will shape and reshape the local government system.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Honorable Itiako Malik Ikpokpo, and we'd be delighted to have you back when some of these ideas have come to fruition, and so you can come and tell us about it, even though it's likely to be a work in progress. Very few things actually get done in one fell swoop in this country. We make incremental progress. Thank you very much for coming on. And also thanks to you, Seyi Adeyemo, publisher and social commentator. That's our program today. Next program will be on Monday, God willing. But as we go, let me just quickly put in that plug about anti-COVID-19 measures. Consider taking the vaccine and then comply with all the protocols, if you will. You know, actually, that one is not if you will. They're begging you. They're begging you. Mask up, socially distance. Wash your hands frequently. You know the whole scenario. So I'm Yori Folani. We'll see you on Monday, God willing. Bye bye for now.